Good evening, everybody, and welcome once again to Mr. Bill's Seafood and Truax's Trenches. I'm Mark Young, and this is St. Louis High School. And Coach Chris Truax is with me again. As always, we're going to have Coach Eric Papillon and Coach Danny Stanley. Softball will be on a little bit later, but we're going to jump right in with Coach Truax. Once again, great to be with you on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's great to be here at Mr. Bill's. I mean, the crowd's improving. It's almost standing room only over here tonight. And it's amazing what 1 in 5 can do to a crowd.
Well, a lot of the men are in the house tonight. That's the thing. Last week we had cheerleader sponsor on, so we had a lot more women.
Well, I'm just glad that I've gotten a relationship with some of these other coaches with the different sports that are represented, both men's and women's, and for Danny being here tonight to represent the softball team, and of course Eric Papillon to be here this evening, and other coaches as well too.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I've heard a lot of positive feedback is that everybody is part of the St. Louis family, and it's incredible that you're including them into this thing.
Yeah, it's a great platform for our school and our brand, and for our players and for our families and for these coaches. And I think it's great for everybody to get in there and let the community see who they are.
Well, let's jump right into football then, since that's what we're here to talk about with you. Let's talk about last week's game. I unfortunately didn't get to make that one. So, I'm going to get to learn.
Yeah, well, we're at our home away from home at Westlake, and this time, we're in the north end zone, and we got dressed in the baseball facility, and, trip went well. I mean, travels well. The guys brought all their equipment, and our itineraries ran smooth. Went out there, game got kicked off. We take the first drive down, and, we score and started getting a little confidence. Of course, our kicker goes out, and they don't return anything, and offensively, a young man that I coached back in the 90s here at McNeese, Brett Anderson, his son Brody Anderson is their quarterback, and their offense took the field, and they did a nice job of executing their offense for 4 quarters, and we had a tight ball game, and once again another 8-point game. We got the ball with an opportunity to go down. We turned the ball over, unfortunately, and then we got the ball back, and we marched down again, and we ended on the plus side of the field inside the 20, and then went forward and fourth down, and we didn't execute properly. But the guys fight. They answer the bell. There's no quit in them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So explain or tell me a little bit about how your thought process is. The game. I mean, obviously you're going in with a plan to win the game, but matchup wise, was it what you thought it was going to be? Did you feel like your kids were matched up okay with Westlake?
Seeing their stats, seeing their personnel, I really thought this game offered a lot of parity. I felt good about every matchup, from our offensive line to their defensive line, from our defensive line to their offensive line. They had a little bit more speed than what the tape showed, and they played a little bit more productive on offense than what they had showed. Unfortunately, they punted one time, and the kid hits a rocket. My hat's off to him, because he was in a pressure situation. He hadn't punted the whole night, and he comes out there and he turns the field over. But then, our quarterback takes the field and leads us back down there. So I like Westfield. I like Coach Richardson. I like his staff. I think they do a tremendous job. It's a great facility. But it's going to be nice for us to have a home field at some time.
Well, it's got to be an advantage. So even if it's a familiar place to you, it's still not your home field.
Sure, it's our fans. They're going to sit on the home side one time. They're going to be on the visitor side the other time. The sponsors, the cheerleader coaches, they all need to be at certain places and certain times. The bus schedule and so forth. It's right. a lot of moving parts.
Yeah. Yeah. How did your kids come out of the game health-wise? How did everybody come out?
We talked about it today after practice, that time of the year. A lot of bumps and bruises, a lot of ice packs, a lot of, little braces here and there, and we're going to manage our team correctly. At this time of the year, if you're still grounding and pounding, you're probably not managing your team,
right,
the way it needs to be, whether you're 5-1 or 1-5. We've got some winnable games in front of us, and I need a healthy team to do it.
Right, right. Next week, let's talk about next week.
Yeah, Lake Charles Prep, we're going to go back to Westlake. Of course, now we'll go to the south end zone, and we'll be in that locker room, and we're getting kind of familiar with that space. You know, Prep's staff has been together. Their head coach has been there for 11 years. And when they started Prep, there was an infancy stage, and they have grown their team, their school, their identity, their brand, and they have built a really good football team this year. They're running the ball exceptionally well. They're not too difficult to figure out. I mean, they're going to give you about 2 or 3 formations, but they want to run behind their strong physical offensive line. I think this will be a huge challenge for our defensive line this week. You know, and defensively the same thing. They're going to line up and play a lot of man coverage versus us. They're going to have one more in the box and dare us to throw the football. And you know, our production in the passing game has been strong this year.
Right.
So you know, once again, it's going to come down. Our kicking game is exceptional. I think that phase of the game that we have that edge. But you know, us managing the clock and us not being able to. And us, you know, converting in short fields and not settling for field goals. We've got to score when we're on the plus side of the field.
Yeah. The game with LCCP, I mean, I guess you're just over halfway at this point of the season. And you guys, you got to be, record aside, you got to be pretty excited about some of the progress that you guys have made.
Well, you know, I got great coaches.
Yeah.
You know, that's the easy thing.
Yeah.
These guys are veterans. They know how to manage their group. They're the head coaches of their group, and that's one thing when we built this brand, that built our staff, that I wanted guys that can be head coaches.
Right.
And any of those guys could be sitting here as easy as I can. So they've been on championship teams. They've been on teams that have not done so well, so they know how to manage their group of kids.
Yeah. The rest, you said there's winnable games ahead, and you need to keep some, you know, your guys in decent shape. I mean, how's the difference college and high school as far as that goes, managing the bumps and bruises and the week in and week outs?
Well, it's just staff-wise. You know, our staff is limited in the high school to compare to what your staff is in college, and same with your depth. And, you know, in college you get to pick the young men you want to surround yourself with. But injuries happen up there, and some of them, you know, are sustainable just like they are at our level as well, too. But they get the same bumps and bruises and, you know, knees and shoulders and backs that we do at our level. Maybe their process, as far as the recovery process, is a little bit better because of their strength staff, their physical therapy staff, their team doctors. It's all in-house.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, that's one of the advantages of being college over high school.
Yeah, last week, any outstanding performances by any of the kids that you want to mention?
Yeah, I mean, we look at McCollin Carrier, you know, rushed the ball for over 130 yards. You know, our quarterback had another outstanding day. I was telling Lance Hurd about it. His son, Harrison, you know, had made a big-time catch to keep the game, you know, our offensive chains moving. Fisher Willis always is an outstanding young man for us. So we've gotten some guys that have stepped up when they want it, and that's what I'm impressed about. Some of these guys, that they want the ball in their hands when it matters.
Right. So Friday night in Westlake, 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Lake Charles College Prep. St. Louis will be the home team.
Yeah,
So
here we go.
Flop back through, you know.
Flip flop. You know, we'll go. We'll have them here this Friday. Then we're at South Bow next Thursday, and then we come back for our last two with Jennings and with Houghton.
Yeah.
So, you know, we kind of had our preseason. Now we're in season, and then we will have a postseason as well.
Right, right. Well, Coach, as always, it's a pleasure. Wish you the best of luck, and I'm excited because I'll be able to be at this one next Friday. So,
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate
yeah, so
you.
Chris Truax, we'll be right back right after this.
Life changes fast. That's why at Bank FMBD, we keep banking simple, with real people to help when you need it, and easy tools you can use anytime. Wherever life takes you, Bank FMBD is there.
Professional Office Products. Call Jason Monte at Professional Office Products, your local Xerox dealer. Remember, don't upgrade your copier till you call them so they can show you the Xerox way. Caraway Chiropractic. Move better, feel better, live better. Contact us today to schedule your appointment. 337-439-9313 or at carawaychiropractic.com. Louisiana Mortgage Associates, proud sponsor of St. Louis Catholic football. Celebrating 25 years in business, we're here to help you with all of your mortgage needs, including new construction, down payment assistance programs, investment properties up to 8 units, and jumbo loans. Call your local mortgage expert, Keith Wimberly, at 310-HOME or visit swlahome.com. Louisiana Mortgage Associates, for your homegrown home loan.
Well, welcome back to Truax's Trenches. I want to thank Upscale Productions and Mr. Bill's Seafood, as always, for hosting this St. Louis High School program. And with me on the podium at this point is Eric Papillon, defensive backfield coach, defensive secondary coach. And Coach, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for being on. And
Thank you.
yeah, and usually when we get somebody on like you for the first time, I kind of like to talk about your journey to St. Louis. You know, how you got here, where have you been, and all that good stuff. So tell us a little bit about that.
So I started my coaching journey a long time ago, about 10 years ago. I actually coached my son's team, first of all, so I started kind of as a peewee coach.
Yeah.
I was a football player, so I graduated from Bard. And then I went to McNeese, played a couple of years.
Okay.
And then after that, I kind of stepped away from the game a little bit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was kind of like a job at one point. So my son is actually who kind of got me back involved into it. And I coached his team, and then I actually found a love for coaching. And I started coaching at Hamilton Christian first.
Okay.
So I coached middle school there and also assisted with the high school. And in the middle of one of those middle school games, I met old Brock Mathern, old previous St. Louis coach,
Right.
while I was coaching the middle school game.
Okay.
And I guess he kind of liked our energy or whatever. So after the game, he kind of chopped it up with me. He said, "Hey, man, I'm going to give you a call. Just let me get your number." So
Right.
after the season was over, he gave me a call, and that was my first stint with St. Louis. I worked with Coach Jonte. Me and Coach Jonte actually used to be in the press box my first couple of years here, my first two. And then I took a year off after Brock left, and actually got to spend a lot of time with my son, do a lot of one-on-one and make games that I was missing and different kind of things like that. So I was kind of content being at home.
Right.
And I kind of heard rumors that St. Louis was looking for another coach, and I was like, okay, well, that's cool. And then heard rumors that my boy Jonte was coming back, and then actually got a call from Coach Truax, man, and actually I was on the way to my son's baseball game, and this is kind of what sold me, right? So I said, "Hey, man, I'm going to my son's game. If you want to come, you're more than welcome to come." And he was like, "All right." So he came, met me at my son's game, and just the fact that he came to the game, you know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah.
Just kind of showed what kind of man he was to me, and so that kind of won me over a little bit. Just I just felt valued, and I felt like he really was trying to do right, by the kids. And the kids are what really mean the most to me at this school. I kind of was here with the senior class when they were freshmen.
Okay.
So I coached them as freshmen, sophomores. I didn't as juniors, so
And
the
now you're
opportunity
back.
to
Yeah.
come back for the senior year,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
to be along with Jonte, that's what kind of won me over as well.
Yeah. So you're your first year back, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay. Well, good. Well, tell me a little bit about how your philosophy's fitting in with what's going on at St. Louis. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, me growing as a coach, I grew a lot, kind of with Jonte, so I kind of know how Jonte rolls pretty much, so I know what he expects, and we actually grew, I guess, into the defense together, so I kind of know what's going on in
Right.
the backfield. The addition of Coach Guidry kind of helped me freelance a little bit and see kind of the little things that I would miss, previously. So I think our bond and our gel pretty much is a good fit together.
Yeah.
I think we all feed off of each other.
Yeah.
One day I'm the good cop. One day Coach Guidry the good cop, and it kind of works real well. So
Coach
I think we
Guidry's
all.
a good cop at some point, you're saying?
Yeah, I'm mostly the bad cop, honestly, but I'm in the headset, so he kind of has to be the bad cop through me.
He has to be
pretty much.
the mouthpiece
Yes,
for the bad
yes,
cop.
sir.
Okay.
So
Well,
it's kind of cool, but I do like what we have going on. I think we communicate well
Yeah.
during games, and we all have the same common goal.
Well, tell me a little bit about what's special about this St. Louis and about this group. What is it you live? I know we hear every week, how special the kids are and how good the kids are. Is that kind of something?
Yeah,
that you see?
well, like I said, the senior class really does mean a lot to me because
Yeah.
I kind of grew up with them, I guess, as a coach. So we spend a lot of time together. I know them. They're pretty much like my sons. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I have a son who's a freshman, so I spend more time with these guys than I do really
Yeah.
with him. And me and my son actually had that conversation. Like, these are my guys. I really just want to make sure that they have a good senior year. Because outside looking in, man, one win, I know those kids are better than that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Actually spent a lot of time
Yeah.
with those kids. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I wanted to give them my best shot and give
Yeah.
them my best and my all to help them, achieve what they want to achieve.
What are some of the high points this year that you've seen?
Man,
Especially-
I've seen a lot of growth, man. I have one kid in particular. Before I left, we call him Butter, but Hayden Hill. Just watching him from where he was as a freshman to, being an everyday starter. Going through those ups and downs, just watching the growth.
Yeah.
Cullen Miller, has always been the captain of that group to me. You know what I mean? And just watching him grow and lead those guys and being somebody that we can always depend on. B.J. Willis. I try to fight with BJ every week to talk because he doesn't say much. But,
Yeah.
His growth and being able to move to the defensive side of the ball and hit it running just kind of shows, what kind of kids we do have here in this group.
Yeah. LCCP this week, that's going to be another kind of a challenge for you guys, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge. That coaching staff is a very good coaching staff. They know how to get those guys to play. They're always going to bring their best. I feel like when it comes to St. Louis, it's a district kind of rivalry. I wouldn't call it a rivalry, but I mean it is because we take it that way. We want to win every game. We want to compete. We want to give you our best shot. But I do have a lot of respect for what those guys have done for the community over there and those kids and how they keep those kids competitive and how they get them to play.
Well, you guys are excited about the week.
Oh, they're excited. I think we had a very competitive week this week. There's a lot of stuff we left on the table last week, that
Yeah.
we weren't pleased with. So we went into this week just getting back to the basics of competing. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like nobody has a spot. We're going to work
Right.
for our spot in practice. We're going to
Yeah.
earn our spot in practice.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing for us.
Is that something that you found, you're coaching through your time with the younger kids in middle school and then in high school, just being able to, as opposed to like a college player, being able to bring it and compete all the time? Is that something that you think coaches have to do a little bit more to get that out of them?
At times, yes, because complacency does happen, and complacency is not good when you're trying to be a winning football team.
Right.
The key is to keep the kids hungry, man, and
Yeah.
that's what we try to do, keep them hungry. We started this thing, look, in one-on-ones, if a receiver catches a ball on you, that's 5 push-ups. I don't care how they
Right.
catch it,
Yeah.
And then just to bring out a little more competitive
five
edge
ways to
into
make
them.
them fight. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
make
Yes,
them
sir.
battle. Yeah. Well, that's we certainly appreciate all you do, and I know the kids appreciate you, and I'm sure these seniors appreciate you coming back for their senior year. We want to thank you and best of luck this coming Friday night. Thanks for being on the program.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Eric Papillon, everybody.
Life changes fast. That's why at Bank FMBD, we keep banking simple, with real people to help when you need it, and easy tools you can use anytime. Wherever life takes you, Bank FMBD is there.
Professional office products. Call Jason Monte at Professional Office Products, your local Xerox dealer. Remember, don't upgrade your copier till you call them so they can show you the Xerox way. Caraway Chiropractic. Move better, feel better, live better. Contact us today to schedule your appointment. 337-439-9313 or at carawaychiropractic.com. Louisiana Mortgage Associates, proud sponsor of St. Louis Catholic football. Celebrating 25 years in business, we're here to help you with all of your mortgage needs, including new construction, down payment assistance programs, investment properties up to 8 units, and jumbo loans. Call your local mortgage expert, Keith Wimberly, at 310-HOME or visit swlahome.com. Louisiana Mortgage Associates, for your homegrown home loan.
Welcome back to the third segment of Truax's Trenches, and we're happy to have the girls softball coach at St. Louis High School, Danny Stanley, on the program. Danny, thanks for jumping in and talking with us a little bit.
Yeah, good to be here.
Yeah. So, like I was telling Coach Papillon a minute ago, we talk a little bit about people when they come on, trying to find out their journey. Of course, I know a lot about you and where all you come through, and of course, when when Coach Papillon said his journey began a long time ago, 10 years ago, I was thinking that I think the socks I'm wearing are 10 years old at least, and his journey is not quite that long, but I know yours is at least as long as mine. So talk a little bit about how you got to this point. It's really a pretty interesting story.
Well, I'm kind of different, and I didn't start out in education, and my career went into federal law enforcement with the United States Border Patrol, and then working shift work and all that. Finally, when I got relocated and was able to transfer back here, I was able to get into, my kids were starting to get into sports. My son's 5 years older than my daughter, and he got into baseball. And Randy Morgan, he had a son the same age, and we started coaching probably about 11 to 15 in the senior league and little league program, and then shifted over to my daughter. She did some t-ball and 8U, and then got away from it for a little while. I'm about 12. Hey, I want to play softball, and always needing coaches, so stepped up, and she did it 2 years, made cheerleader Barb, and said bye, I'm gone, and I stayed. I think I'm in my 20th year with Little League program here in Lake Charles, and so it started out 16U division,
Right.
and then I would take the all-star team, and when we got back, started doing tournament ball, and I'd run them till they were 16, 17, then I'd go down and get another group, come back up, and so when I retired in 2015, I was still doing travel ball, 16, 18U. I went and did some in-school suspension work at S.J. Wells for about 8 years, and the first two I did help coach the softball team at S.J. Welsh, and then I was getting the itch to get into high school, so I went to Grand Lake, talked to you, and you gave me my first not head coach, but assistant coach in high school, and I was out at Grand Lake for about 6 years, I guess, and then went to Lackasine for a year, and I guess it was probably towards the end of the season there at Lackasine, I started getting some bugs put in my ear about coming to St. Louis, and about May, Coach Painter called me and asked me to come on over, and I did, and started working the program with him.
Yeah, so you talk. So this is year 3.
Third year, starting my third year.
Third year, right? Year 3. How's the transition been? And how's it been in St. Louis? I mean,
well, I was fortunate in the sense that my last 18U team, who I'd had probably a lot of those girls one of them I coached since she was 10, but I had 4 St. Louis softball players that were on my team, and so I kind of had a little in, as far as to give me some support there, I guess.
Right.
I didn't know a whole lot about St. Louis,
Yeah.
and so I got there and, wanted to help instill a culture, kind of starting with the discipline. Like I told the girls, it's not about, good and bad, right and wrong type of thing. I'm talking about doing the little things, getting a work ethic, and make this program what it was once back in the 90s,
Yeah.
in 2000. It was a pretty strong team. But so we started out at 7 seniors and about 18 on the team, I guess, and we finished 5 and 15. But I'd take a senior and a junior who were really going to be starting infielders, like shortstop and third, and they had pitched when they were, I guess, 11 or 12 was the last time. Now they're 17, 18, and they did a good job for us,
Right.
and we just just didn't have the development in the pitching that they needed to compete at that level. But they got us in games, and we won a few, and we should have won, but we finished the season and graduated 7 seniors.
Wow.
You know, yeah. And 5 of those were starters.
Yeah, yeah.
And so rolling into my sophomore group now came in as freshmen. I had 7 come in. I had 5 freshmen starting
Yeah.
last season.
Wow. What what kind of numbers are you looking like throughout the program now compared to your first year?
Well, the numbers are down. I mean, I have 13 on the team. You know, there's some girls that want to come out that never played, and they try it and then realize it's not for them. But because there's a lot to it, you know, it's hard to come in as a freshman or even a junior unless you have, you know, we have one now, very athletic, you know,
Yeah.
picked it up quick.
Yeah.
And she actually made second team all district
Wow.
at the end at this year, you know. So
Yeah.
we don't have the numbers like the soccer program does or cheerleaders now. I ask them all the time. I see all those girls walk around, you play softball, you know? And
Yeah.
I said, look, I need to start out as a runner. You know, we'll teach you everything you need to know. It's just
Yeah.
going to take a little time and have some patience. And we
Yeah. Yeah. Where are you guys practicing? How, I know we've talked every week, we talk a little bit, hit on the idea that St. Louis's new campus is coming.
Right.
New facilities are coming. Where are you guys practicing now? Where are you guys going to be playing your home games? Where's all that going to occur?
Well, there's sometimes we do stuff at the baseball complex there on campus. Most of when the season's rolling, like come in November, you know, we'll be more active. Like I said, I got half the team playing volleyball right now, and some of those will transition to basketball. But we'll practice at O.D. Johnson.
Okay. Okay.
Trying to get on the power center, but we're going to see how that goes, you know. And then we play our games at McNeese, at Cowgirls
Okay. Okay.
Field, and
Oh, good. Good.
our
Yeah.
home games, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that, you know, because I've watched you for a long time, and like I said, I kind of got you got to see you up close whenever you were at Grand Lake. But so I think you guys, once again, St. Louis has done a great job of bringing some people in that are going to make a big difference. So I wish you the best of luck this year. And you know, some of the stories you're saying about finding kids from other sports sound a lot like what football
Right.
has been going through too. You know, finding guys off the soccer field, finding guys off the basketball court or baseball field or whatever. So it sounds a little bit like y'all have the same kind of growing pains. But I have no doubt that in a couple of years you'll get that thing straight and squared away.
Yeah, we are, you know, we're always looking, you know, I got to look at what I'm graduating, what I'm bringing in, because our numbers are
Yeah.
kind of low there. But I think, you know, a lot of it I look back on during the league season, you know, prior to, you know, reference everything to the Hurricanes, you know, we probably had 450 girls running through the Little League program, and there weren't a lot of, at that time there were a lot of tournament teams around the area.
Right.
So I've seen the transition where the numbers went way down here, you know, and obviously in the Lafayette area, everything built up. But it just wasn't a lot of girls that were playing softball anymore, you
Yeah.
know. And but this past year, we turned things around. We finished 12-8. We were 7th in the state. We had a bye at district. We had a bye round, and then we went Pope John Paul. Second came here. We lost 11-10.
Wow.
And but you know, we ended up district co-champions, first time since 2019.
Nice.
We kind of let that one slip away. You
Yeah.
know, we beat South Bow, and then South Bow beat Jennings, and Jennings beat us. So.
Yeah, kind of one of those deals. Oh, you mentioned earlier, you know, helping at S.J. Wells. Do any of the parochial schools around have junior high softball?
They do. I know that this year, I think Queen of Heaven, ICCS, and St. Margaret's kind of combined, just like they did the previous year. I think this year it might have involved a little bit more with incorporating LCA out of Sulphur.
Oh, wow, okay.
So,
Okay.
you know, and some of those girls hopefully will come here. You know,
Yeah.
you know, you kind of know coming up what siblings are here and the ones that are probably going to come here.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
as
Well,
long as I'm replenishing what I'm losing. you know
right,
what I mean?
right. Well, thanks, and we wish you the best of luck. Thanks for stepping in a little bit on the program tonight, and we want to thank all of you for tuning in at home. Thanks, everybody. Coach Truax, as always, we appreciate you. Coach Papillon, thanks for being on. Mr. Bills and Upscale Productions, thank you all, as well as Coach Stanley. Thank you all for being here, and go Saints.